Brothers, if you've clicked on this video, you already know something that most men will never understand. Respect isn't given freely. It's earned through your actions, maintained through your boundaries, and lost the moment you compromise your Sigma nature for temporary approval. Today, we're diving deep into the 7 critical mistakes that will instantly destroy the respect a woman has for you. These aren't pick-up artist tricks or manipulation tactics. These are fundamental principles that separate Sigma males from the masses of men who wonder why their relationships lack the respect and admiration they crave. I've spent years studying the patterns of men who command natural respect versus those who constantly struggle for it. The difference isn't money, looks, or charm. It's mindset and behavior. The Sigma male operates from a position of inner strength that creates a magnetic pull others can't resist. But here's what most men don't realize. The very actions they think will win a woman's love are often the same actions that kill her respect. It's a cruel irony, but one that separates the Sigma males from everyone else. If you're ready to transform how women perceive and respond to you, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. This channel is dedicated to helping men like you develop the mindset and behaviors that command respect naturally. Let's dive into the first way Sigma males protect their respect. 1. Never seeking validation through her approval. A true Sigma male understands that the moment you start seeking validation from a woman, you've already compromised your most valuable asset, your independence. This isn't about disrespecting women or playing games. It's about maintaining the authentic self that makes you magnetic in the first place. The validation trap is subtle but deadly. It starts innocently. Checking your phone every few minutes for her response. Changing your plans to accommodate hers without reciprocation, or worst of all, modifying your opinions and values to align with what you think she wants to hear. When you fall into this pattern, you're essentially telling her that her opinion of you matters more than your own self-respect. Consider Marcus, a successful entrepreneur who built his company from nothing. He was confident, decisive, and commanded respect in boardrooms. But when he started dating Sarah, something shifted. He began second-guessing his restaurant choices, asking permission for nights out with friends, and even started watching reality TV shows he despised just to have common ground. Within months, Sarah's interest waned completely. Why? Because the man she was initially attracted to, the self-assured leader, had transformed into someone seeking her constant approval. The Sigma mindset operates differently. A Sigma male values a woman's perspective and input, but he doesn't need her validation to feel complete or worthy. He maintains his core identity regardless of whether she agrees with his choices or not. This creates a paradoxical effect. The less you seek her approval, the more she respects and values your opinion. Here's the crucial distinction. There's a difference between considering someone's feelings and seeking their validation. A Sigma male will consider how his actions affect his partner because he cares about her well-being, not because he needs her stamp of approval to feel good about himself. When you stop seeking validation, something powerful happens. Your decisions become more authentic, your confidence becomes unshakable, and paradoxically, you become more attractive. Women are naturally drawn to men who have a strong sense of self. Men who don't need external validation to feel worthy. The practical application is straightforward, but requires discipline. Make decisions based on your values and judgment first. If your partner disagrees, listen to her perspective with genuine interest, but don't automatically change your stance just to gain her approval. Stand firm on your principles while remaining open to genuine dialogue. This approach creates a foundation of mutual respect. She learns that your affection and commitment aren't contingent on her constant approval, which makes both more valuable. You learn that real connection happens when two complete individuals choose to be together, not when one person loses themselves trying to please the other. Remember, a woman can only respect a man who respects himself first. When you stop seeking validation, you stop being needy. And when you stop being needy, you become infinitely more attractive and worthy of genuine respect. 2. Never tolerating disrespectful behavior. A Sigma male's greatest strength isn't his ability to fight. It's his ability to walk away from situations that don't serve him. When it comes to disrespectful behavior from women, most men make a fatal error. They either explode in anger or worse, they tolerate it, hoping things will improve. Both responses destroy respect instantly. Here's what separates Sigma males from other men. They have zero tolerance for disrespect, but they handle it with calculated precision rather than emotional reactions. They understand that the moment you allow someone to cross your boundaries without consequences, you've taught them that your boundaries are meaningless. Consider the story of David, a high-earning attorney who thought his success would automatically command respect. His girlfriend Emma would regularly interrupt him mid-sentence, dismiss his opinions in public, and even mock his interests in front of friends. David's response? He would either argue back, creating drama, or worse, he'd laugh it off, thinking he was being the bigger person. What he didn't realize was that every time he failed to address her disrespect, he was training her to respect him less. The Sigma approach is different. When faced with disrespectful behavior, a Sigma male doesn't explode or argue. Instead, he does something far more powerful. He removes his attention and presence. He understands that attention is his most valuable currency, and disrespectful people don't deserve it. This doesn't mean being cold or playing games. It means having clear standards and enforcing them consistently. When a woman tests your boundaries with disrespectful behavior, and she will test them, your response in that moment determines the entire trajectory of your relationship. The key is addressing disrespect immediately but calmly. A simple, "I don't accept being spoken to that way," followed by removing yourself from the situation, is infinitely more powerful than any argument or explanation. You're not trying to convince her to respect you. You're showing her that disrespect has immediate consequences. Here's the psychology behind why this works. Women, like all humans, are constantly calibrating how to treat the people in their lives based on what behavior gets rewarded or punished. When you tolerate disrespect, you're literally training her to disrespect you more. When you consistently enforce boundaries, you're training her to treat you with the respect you deserve. The beautiful part about this approach is that it filters out the wrong women while deepening respect from the right ones. A woman who truly values you will adjust her behavior when she realizes she's crossed a line. A woman who doesn't respect boundaries will likely leave. And that's exactly what should happen. Remember, you teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. A Sigma male tolerates nothing less than respect because he understands his own worth. This isn't about being difficult or demanding. It's about maintaining standards that reflect your value as a man. 3. Never chasing or pursuing excessively. The modern dating landscape has created a generation of men who believe that persistence equals romantic success. They've been fed Hollywood fantasies where the man who chases hardest gets the girl. The Sigma male knows this is not only false, it's relationship suicide. Excessive pursuit is the fastest way to flip the attraction script from mysterious, high-value man to desperate, needy guy. The moment you start chasing more than she's reciprocating, you've fundamentally altered the power dynamic in a way that kills attraction at its core. Take the case of Ryan, a successful software developer who met Lisa at a networking event. She gave him her number, they had a great first date, but then her communication became sporadic. Instead of maintaining his composure, Ryan entered chase mode. He doubled down on texts when she didn't respond, suggested multiple date options when she was busy, and even sent flowers to her workplace. The result? Lisa went from interested to completely turned off in less than 2 weeks. The Sigma male operates from a fundamentally different paradigm. He understands that attraction isn't logical, it's psychological. When you chase excessively, you're communicating several deadly messages: that she's higher value than you, that you have no other options, and that you're willing to sacrifice your dignity for her attention. Here's the counterintuitive truth: the less available you are, the more valuable you become. This isn't about playing games or being manipulative. It's about maintaining the natural challenge that keeps attraction alive. A Sigma male has a full, engaging life that doesn't revolve around any one woman, no matter how amazing she might be. The practical application is straightforward, but requires emotional discipline. Match her energy and investment level. If she takes hours to respond to texts, you do the same. If she's too busy for dates, you become equally busy with your own pursuits. This isn't revenge or pettiness, it's maintaining balance and protecting your own value. A Sigma male pursues with intention, but never with desperation. He makes his interest known clearly and directly, then steps back and allows her to reciprocate. If she doesn't match his energy, he doesn't increase his effort. He redirects it toward opportunities and people who appreciate his value. The magnetic effect of this approach cannot be overstated. When you stop chasing, several things happen simultaneously. You maintain your mysterious appeal, you avoid looking needy, you preserve your self-respect, and paradoxically, you often increase her interest. Women are naturally drawn to men who seem to have options and standards. This principle extends beyond initial dating into long-term relationships. Even with a committed partner, a Sigma male never abandons his independence or makes her the sole focus of his existence. He maintains his goals, friendships, and interests, which keeps the relationship dynamic and prevents the stagnation that kills long-term attraction. Remember, a person who truly wants to be in your life will make effort to stay there. Your job isn't to convince them of your worth through excessive pursuit. It's to be so valuable that they feel motivated to earn and maintain your attention. 4. Never sacrificing core values and beliefs. A man without principles is a man without power. The moment you start compromising your core values and beliefs to maintain a relationship, you've already lost the very thing that made you attractive in the first place: your authentic strength and conviction. This is perhaps the most insidious trap that destroys respect, because it happens gradually. You don't wake up one day and completely abandon your values. Instead, you make small compromises, telling yourself they're reasonable accommodations for love. But each compromise chips away at your integrity until you're a shadow of your former self. Consider James, a devout Christian and successful entrepreneur who built his business on ethical principles. When he started dating Monica, she began subtly criticizing his faith, calling it outdated, and pressuring him to skip church for weekend trips. She mocked his charitable giving as wasted money and pushed him to cut corners in business to increase profits. Gradually, James found himself defending his values less and accommodating her worldview more. By the end of the relationship, Monica had lost all respect for him, not because of his beliefs, but because of his willingness to abandon them. The Sigma male understands a fundamental truth: your values aren't negotiable items in a relationship marketplace. They're the bedrock of your identity and the source of your inner strength. When you compromise them for anyone, no matter how beautiful, charming, or compatible they seem, you communicate that you don't truly believe in anything strongly enough to stand for it. Here's what most men don't realize: women are constantly evaluating your strength of character, often subconsciously. When they see you bend your principles to please them, they don't feel gratitude. They feel disappointment. They lose respect because they realize you're not the strong, principled man they were initially attracted to. This doesn't mean being inflexible or close-minded. A Sigma male is always willing to learn, grow, and consider new perspectives. But there's a crucial difference between evolving your understanding and abandoning your core principles. Growth builds on your foundation, compromise destroys it. The practical application requires self-awareness and courage. Before entering any relationship, you must be crystal clear about your non-negotiable values. These might include your spiritual beliefs, ethical standards, life goals, or fundamental principles about how you treat others. Once identified, these become your red lines, boundaries you will not cross regardless of the relationship consequences. When faced with pressure to compromise these values, a Sigma male responds with calm clarity. This is who I am and what I believe. I respect your right to disagree, but I won't change my core principles for anyone. This isn't delivered with anger or defensiveness. It's stated as a simple fact. The beautiful paradox is that standing firm on your values actually increases respect and attraction. Women are drawn to men who have something they believe in strongly enough to defend. It signals strength, integrity, and the kind of unwavering character they can depend on. A Sigma male would rather be alone than be with someone who requires him to betray his authentic self. This isn't stubbornness, it's self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation upon which all other respect is built. 5. Never being overly available or dropping everything. The modern man has been conditioned to believe that love means constant availability. He thinks that dropping everything when she calls, being accessible 24/7, and making her the center of his universe demonstrates devotion. The Sigma male knows this is one of the fastest ways to destroy attraction and respect. Availability is inversely related to value. The more available you are, the less valuable you appear. This isn't a cruel game, it's basic human psychology. We cherish what's scarce and take for granted what's abundant. When you're always available, you become abundant and therefore less appreciated. Meet Carlos, a talented musician who made every woman he dated his entire world. The moment he entered a relationship, his friends stopped hearing from him. His music took a back seat, and his entire schedule revolved around his girlfriend's availability. Initially, women found his devotion flattering, but inevitably, they would lose interest. Why? Because a man who drops everything for you appears to have nothing important to drop. The Sigma male maintains his life, priorities, and commitments regardless of his relationship status. He has goals to achieve, friends to see, hobbies to pursue, and a mission that extends far beyond romantic relationships. This isn't selfishness, it's self-respect and practical wisdom. Here's the key distinction. A Sigma male is caring and attentive, but not at the expense of his own life and goals. He'll make time for important moments, support his partner through genuine crises, and show up when it truly matters. But he won't rearrange his entire existence every time she wants attention or has a minor inconvenience. The psychology behind this is profound. When you maintain your independence and priorities, several things happen. You remain interesting and mysterious. You demonstrate that you have a life worth living. You avoid becoming taken for granted, and you maintain the healthy tension that keeps relationships dynamic. This principle is particularly important in the early stages of dating. If you're always free when she wants to see you, always respond to texts immediately, and always put her needs before your commitments, you're communicating low value. She'll subconsciously wonder, if this man has nothing important going on in his life, why should I be impressed that he's making time for me? The practical application requires discipline and planning. A Sigma male schedules his life according to his priorities, not his relationship status. He has regular commitments to his fitness, career, friends, and personal growth. When a woman wants to see him, he offers times that work within his existing schedule rather than dropping everything to accommodate her. This doesn't mean being inflexible or uncaring. Emergencies are different from preferences, and genuine crises deserve immediate attention, but the vast majority of requests for your time and attention are not emergencies. They're tests of your boundaries and self-respect. The counterintuitive result is that when you're not always available, your availability becomes more valuable. The time you do spend together feels special and intentional rather than default and assumed. She learns to appreciate your presence because it's not guaranteed, and she respects your boundaries because you've demonstrated you have them. Remember, a high-value woman wants a high-value man, and high-value men have demanding lives that extend beyond romantic relationships. By maintaining your independence and priorities, you prove that you're the kind of man worth pursuing and keeping. 6. Never ignoring red flags or making excuses for her. One of the most dangerous traits that destroys a man's respect and relationships is his tendency to ignore obvious red flags while making elaborate excuses for unacceptable behavior. The Sigma male understands that hope is not a strategy and wishful thinking is not wisdom. Most men fall into this trap because they've been conditioned to believe that love means accepting someone unconditionally, flaws and all. They confuse unconditional love with unconditional tolerance, not realizing that the two are completely different. Love can be unconditional, but respect and relationships must have conditions. They must have standards. Consider Michael, a successful architect who met Sarah through mutual friends. Early in their relationship, Sarah displayed clear warning signs. She was consistently rude to service workers, had explosive anger over minor inconveniences, spoke disrespectfully about her ex-partners, and showed little empathy for others' struggles. Instead of recognizing these as fundamental character flaws, Michael made excuses. She's just stressed from work. She had a difficult childhood. She's actually really sweet once you get to know her. Udi. The Sigma male operates from a fundamentally different framework. He understands that character is revealed through actions, especially when someone thinks no one important is watching. How a woman treats waiters, deals with stress, speaks about past relationships, and handles disappointment tells you everything you need to know about who she really is. Red flags aren't temporary inconveniences or challenges to overcome. They're early warning systems designed to protect you from future pain. When you ignore them, you're not being understanding or patient. You're being naive and setting yourself up for problems that could have been avoided. The most common red flags that Sigma males never ignore include consistent disrespect toward others, inability to take responsibility for mistakes, patterns of dramatic or manipulative behavior, lack of empathy or consideration, financial irresponsibility, dishonesty about small things, and speaking poorly about all previous relationships. Here's the crucial insight. People show you who they are through their actions, not their words. When someone reveals their character through behavior, believe them the first time. Don't wait for the pattern to repeat. Don't make excuses based on their potential, and don't assume you can change them through love and patience. The Sigma male has learned that making excuses for someone's unacceptable behavior is actually a form of disrespect, both to himself and to her. By making excuses, you're treating her like she's incapable of better behavior, which is condescending. You're also teaching her that her actions don't have consequences, which enables continued poor behavior. Instead of making excuses, a Sigma male addresses red flags directly and immediately. If the behavior changes genuinely and consistently, he continues evaluating. If it doesn't, he removes himself from the situation without drama or extended explanations. He understands that his peace of mind and self-respect are more valuable than any relationship that requires him to lower his standards. This approach serves as a powerful filter. Women with genuine character will respect your standards and work to meet them. Women without character will reveal themselves through their resistance to accountability, and you can exit before deeper damage occurs. Remember, you can't love someone into being a better person, and you can't excuse someone into respecting you. Character is revealed, not created, and the Sigma male has the wisdom to pay attention when it's being revealed. 7. never losing his mission for a relationship. The final and perhaps most crucial principle that separates Sigma males from ordinary men is this: never sacrifice your life's mission, purpose, or personal goals for a relationship. This isn't about being selfish, it's about understanding that a man without purpose is a man without power, and a man without power cannot command lasting respect. Every Sigma male has something that drives him beyond romantic relationships: a business to build, a skill to master, a mission to accomplish, or a legacy to create. This purpose gives his life meaning and makes him magnetic to others. The moment he abandons this mission to focus entirely on a relationship, he becomes a different person, and usually a less attractive one. Consider the story of Alex, a talented photographer who was building an international reputation for his work. When he met Jennifer, she initially found his passion and dedication incredibly attractive. But as their relationship progressed, she began to resent the time he spent on his craft. She wanted more attention, more couple time, more focus on their relationship. Gradually, Alex began declining important assignments, missing networking events, and putting his camera aside to spend more time with Jennifer. The ironic result? The very dedication and purpose that attracted her to him disappeared, and so did her attraction. The Sigma male understands a fundamental truth: the qualities that make you attractive are the same qualities you must maintain to stay attractive. Your mission, purpose, and goals aren't obstacles to a great relationship. They're the foundation upon which great relationships are built. Here's what most men don't realize. Women don't actually want to be your entire world, despite what they might say in emotional moments. They want to be with a man who has a world, a man with purpose, direction, and goals that extend beyond the relationship. This creates the respect and admiration that keeps long-term attraction alive. When you abandon your mission for a relationship, several destructive things happen. You lose the very qualities that made you attractive. You become overly dependent on the relationship for fulfillment. You create pressure on your partner to be your sole source of happiness. And you demonstrate that your commitments aren't actually that important to you. The Sigma approach is different. He integrates a woman into his existing life rather than restructuring his entire existence around her. He shares his mission with her, invites her to support his goals, and creates a partnership where both people maintain their individual purposes while building something together. This doesn't mean neglecting your relationship or being absent from important moments. A Sigma male is present, attentive, and committed to his partner's happiness. But he does this from a position of strength, as a man with purpose who chooses to share his life, not as a man who needs validation through relationship success. The practical application requires clarity and conviction. Before entering any serious relationship, you must be crystal clear about your life's mission and goals. These become non-negotiable elements that any potential partner must respect and support. If a woman requires you to abandon your purpose to prove your love, she's revealed that she doesn't understand or appreciate who you really are. The beautiful paradox is that the more committed you remain to your mission, the more attractive and respectable you become. Women are naturally drawn to men with purpose because purpose implies strength, direction, and the ability to provide leadership and security. Remember, your mission existed before her and should exist regardless of relationship status. A woman who truly loves and respects you will want to see you succeed and grow, not shrink to make her feel more comfortable. The right woman will be your partner in purpose, not an obstacle to it. The Sigma male knows that lasting respect comes from being a complete, purpose-driven man who chooses to share his life, not from being an incomplete man who needs a relationship to feel whole. There you have it, the first fundamental principle that sets Sigma males apart from the crowd. Never seeking validation through her approval isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about maintaining the authentic strength that made you attractive in the first place. This principle alone will transform your relationships more than any pickup line or dating strategy ever could. When you stop seeking validation, you stop being needy. When you stop being needy, you become magnetic. When you become magnetic, respect flows naturally. But this is just the beginning. In the next video, we'll explore the second critical mistake that destroys respect. And trust me, this one catches even experienced men off guard. It's subtle, common, and absolutely deadly to attraction. If this content is helping you level up your Sigma mindset, do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. We're building a community of men who refuse to settle for mediocrity in any area of life. Your support helps us reach more brothers who need this message. Drop a comment below and let me know. Have you caught yourself seeking validation in your relationships? What changes will you make starting today? I read every comment, and your insights help other Sigma males in our community. Stay strong, stay Sigma, and I'll see you in the next video.